You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. By going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com, you can make this possible. All right, more drama in Flint, where the city had dumped an estimated 2 million gallons of untreated sewage into the Flint River last Sunday. Just months ago, officials warned that wastewater infrastructure was fast approaching a critical point. The city publicly announced the spill, but they have yet to say how it will prevent it from happening again. Joining us right now is Melissa Mays, one of the original people to sound the alarm in 2014 and the founder of Water U Fighting For. I mean, Melissa, seriously, 2 million gallons? I mean, you would think in Flint there would be caution upon caution. You would have as many layers as possible to not screw up the water in Flint.
You would think that, but unfortunately, the state of Michigan, who created our disaster by stripping our democracy with the whole emergency manager law, they got rid of all of our, public assets and revenue streams. And then right when they left us with nothing and were poisoned because of their decisions, they're like, okay, well, you're on your own. We have no money to fix anything. We don't have money to fix what they actually broke. And they're just like, oh, well, you did a bad thing. Guess what? Oh, well, and knowing that we had these problems, our infrastructure is crumbling across the board, they just decide to take off and say, well, we're going to go ahead and scold you anyways, just like with the lead and copper rule. We're in violation right now for doing something that the state's always done. They're saying that we didn't even identify enough tier 1, like the homes that are most in danger. We didn't identify enough of those for the water testing, but the state hasn't since they took over. And so I think it's hilarious that all the things that the state's pointing out we're doing wrong, it's because they bankrupted us, they poisoned us, and they left us with no staff, no money, no support. But they're going to quickly turn around and say, well, look at what you guys did, and totally avoid any and all responsibility. So here we're left with, not enough staff, not enough equipment, definitely not enough money. And then we're just stuck going, okay, well, what's the biggest fire? We don't have clean drinking water. We don't have clean river water. And I live a block away from the river, so that's great. And so, I mean, what else? Everything is crumbling. And I think that it's on purpose so the state can say, look at what a mess you are. We've got to come back in and fix you like we did before. And that left, hundreds of people dead. So we're trying to do everything we can to fix it. But then who do you hold accountable? A broke city that was wrecked and taken over by the state, or the state who holds all the cards, all the money, but yet won't work with our city to help fix what they, what they destroyed. So we're just kind of like, okay, well, what about the people here? We seem to get left out of the equation a lot.
So did the city explain how this happened? I mean, how do you accidentally dump 2 million gallons of untreated sewage into a river?
We don't have the right infrastructure to be able to deal with like flash floods, heavy rains that we've had this year. And so it gets backed up. All the holding tanks got backed up because we've been saying for a long time we need money to update these. I mean, it's not just our drinking water system, the infrastructure that's fallen apart. It's also the sewage. So we've been asking for help and money, and the state's like, well, we can give you loans, which we can't afford to pay those back. And so, we have no public revenue streams except for our water bills, which I pay about $300 a month for my water bill as it is. And so, so then all of a sudden they're like, oh, we're surprised that even though you told us that the holding tanks aren't big enough and we've had all these flash floods and rains and everything, heavy rains. Oh, look what you screwed up, Flint. And Flint's like, well, we don't have any money to fix it. We told you this, and you just left us to be literally sitting in our own sewage.
Well, it seems like it's one thing after another there in Flint, and hopefully we can get some answers from the city. We tried to get the mayor on the show and some other city officials. We'll try to get them on later this week to see if we can get some of those answers. Melissa, we appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right, then I go to our panel here, and joining us now, Dr. Neon Carter, Chief Department of Political Science at Howard University. Michael Brown, former Vice Chair, DNC Finance Committee. Dr. Julianne Malveaux, Economist, President Emerita, Bennett College. Dr. Carter, what's crazy about this is, again, it's like you would think they would say, okay, let's not screw this thing up even further when it comes to the water in Flint.
They don't care about these people. And if I'm the residents of Flint, I'm thinking these people want to kill me. Because you can't tell me that you've had no opportunity to shore up what you already know are some real deficits in your infrastructure in that city. These people still don't have clean drinking water. So now they also have to contend with an inadequate sewer system, and they're paying their taxes, as Ms. Mays talked about. I mean, people were getting their water cut off in the midst of a crisis where they couldn't even drink the water coming out of their tap or bathe in it because they're going to be contaminated with lead. So now you have a situation where these people are are going to be forced probably at some point to go into receivership, which gives the state the opportunity to take over the city. And in many cases, if they can't fix this, because they don't seem to have any desire to remediate any of these problems, which have been well known for years, leaving the city, which is insane.
Michael.
You know, Roland, race has something to do with everything here in America. So is socioeconomic. But in this case, it's a lack of good infrastructure that we're having, especially in our kind of older cities, more industrialized cities that haven't had some of these pipes changed since the early 1900s. And yes, there's a racial component. Yes, there's a socioeconomic component. But there's also a lack of good infrastructure in our country that we have to fix. And these kind of problems are going to continue to persist. I forget what city jurisdiction it was last week that had a boil water alert. We've had some in this region. New York has had them. Boston has had them. Again, some of these older cities, Chicago has had them. So I think this is going to continue until we fix the infrastructure in our cities.
The infrastructure issue is really important. The American Society of Civil Engineers gives the U.S. like a C- for infrastructure, but if you go through category by category, some are as low as D-. So there's a real issue there in terms of infrastructure. But more importantly, the political structure of Michigan. I mean, you could parallel this to what happened in Detroit, when they came in and take over Detroit. The political structure in Michigan puts the power in Lansing and places where you have a rural population, and they don't get cities, and cities are what? Black. And so that's the race piece that goes on there. So assume that they do take this city and put it into receivership. What happens next? Taxation will go up. The solution to this would be for the state to give the city a large grant, but that's not likely to happen, or for the feds to give the city a large grant. But
and now you have a Democratic governor, so it's not like you could say, well, the Republican governor didn't care.
Yeah, no. But it's the legislature as well as the governor.
Right.
So, but the bottom line here is, because you have so many black people and homeowners, receivership means yet another erosion of black wealth and black property. And that's the part that concerns me. You know, I've been doing all this research on the wealth gap. And what we saw in the Great Recession was millions of black people losing home value to the trillions of dollars. This is just continuing in the downward spiral.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment. All right, folks, November 7th through 11th, I want y'all to join me in Cabo, Mexico for the Luxe Jazz experience, folks. It's going to be an amazing, top-notch music and upscale destination. The weekend-long event is going to be held at the Omnia Day Club in Los Cabos. Ooh, looks real good. Of course, nestled in the Sea of Cortez and the celebrity playground of Los Cabos, Mexico. The Luxe Jazz experience offers a huge event for jazz aficionados, and folks are going to have food, going to have music, all those fun things, luxury accommodations, you name it, taking place, including golf and spa, health and wellness options for all of you. You got big names in entertainment for the second annual Luxe Jazz experience. Among those folks who have been, of course, confirmed, comedian actor Mark Curry, my frat Gerald Albright, Alex Bouillon, Raul Madon, Incognito, Pieces of a Dream, my favorite Kirk Whalum, Average White Band, gospel artist Donnie McClurkin, Shalea, Roy Ayers, Tom Brown, Ronnie Laws, and Ernest Quarles. An amazing lineup of folks that you want to be able to check out, folks. So you're going to come on down to Cabo. And in fact, we're going to be doing Roland Martin Unfiltered there on the 7th and the 8th, that Thursday and Friday, right there from Cabo. It's going to be a phenomenal opportunity. Those of y'all who are in, of course, the cold areas in the country, yeah, come on, give me the beach back. In the cold areas of the country, come on down to Cabo for those days in November. It's going to be fantastic. For more information, please visit the website at luxejazz.com, LIFELUXEJAZZ.com. I would love to see you there. My birthday is right about 3 days after that, so we can also make it a birthday celebration. And so it's going to be a phenomenal experience. Go to LifeLuxeJazz.com if you're looking for a great opportunity. Got some great packages running anywhere from $1,300 up to $2,000. But again, jazz concerts, food, music. We're going to have a grand time. And see, there'll be one of those folks who go, dang, I wish I had gone. You got an opportunity. So go to LifeLuxeJazz.com right now for all of the details. Now back to your Roland Martin Unfiltered video.